What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Backstop Banter. Now, a little different to start off the show, of course. Michael is rushing on home from work, so we got my man, Jesse, over here. What's going on, Mr. MLB Director?
How we doing, my friend? Happy to be on. Happy to be chopping it up and getting into, man, it's only a couple more weeks left until opening day, so getting closer.
2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today, I believe. So very, very exciting. You know, your boy's riding on a high right now. I finally got my hands on a new Xbox, cop some wins on COD today. I'm riding high. So this is going to be a fantastic episode. But of course, you know what, Josh, you're right. Michael does look a little different. He's looking slimmer. He must have went on one of those keto diets. But we'll get things started off. Of course, gotta shout out the sponsors as we always do. So I like to say, we thoroughly enjoy paying the bills. So if you're into the betting world, make sure you go over to mybookie.ag and use code USN100 to double your first deposit. And a little bonus this month, if you screenshot that first deposit and show us your code, you get entered into a David Montgomery signed jersey giveaway. So make sure you go and check that out as well. Listen, baseball's almost here. We and Jesse were just saying 2 weeks away. So you make sure you get those season-long bets in. Yankees over 95.5 wins. I've been trying to tell everybody to sell their house and put the money on that. So make sure you take advantage. I will take 10% of all winnings, of course, though. It's just fair. And then, of course, head over to RX Hemp. RX Hemp-USN saves you 10% on your order. They got the hot and cold, creams over there, CBD cream. So if you're a little sore from a long day at the gym or just living life as a normal person is, head over there. You'll feel brand new in the morning when you wake up. Next up, we have the Teespring store. Teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. Make sure you go check it out. Everybody over at the Unwrapped fam has some merch over there. Unwrapped as a network has merch over there as well. If you want something, we probably have it. I say this every week. We got hoodies, shirts, fanny packs for you California weirdos. We got everything that you really want. And then, of course, if you want to support an individual show, you can go on ahead and do that as well. A little plug to the Backstop Banter merch. That looks fantastic. I'm just saying. And then finally, and of course, last but not least, is the Patreon. $1, you are supporting the squad. $5, you get access to our Discord chat that be popping off, especially with the MLB season coming up. I know I will be in there chatting away. You also get 10% off the store I was just talking about. And Jesse, I am not sure. Are we still doing that gift card giveaway each month with the $5 tier?
Yes, for the Amazon. Yep.
All right, so we are still doing that. I couldn't remember for the past, 3 episodes that I've done. But we are still doing that, so make sure you do that. And then, of course, the $10 tier. You get everything I just said, except the 10% discount goes to $20, so you can get some more merch. And then, of course, you get entered into that David Montgomery signed jersey giveaway. Beautiful, authenticated, everything like that. This is the perfect time to join. Not as many people in it at the moment. So if you're trying to win something, make sure you go and do it now. Highly recommend. But
that does it for some baseball memorabilia for future months as well.
I might have a little sneak peek of the behind the scenes. Just we might be looking at some baseball stuff for next month. I'm just saying. It's only right with the MLB season coming up. So make sure everybody heads over to the Patreon. It's patreon.com/unwrappedsports. Make sure you go and check it out. But that'll be the bills, as I like to say. We'll hop right into things. We're waiting for Michael to come on, of course. Michael, our fellow Reds fan, along with Jesse. So for Michael's respect, until he gets here, I've decided that we can't do the Reds yet. That'd be doing Michael dirty. So we're going to start it off with the Cardinals, because you know what? They're an interesting team in itself. The Cardinals traded for, Nolan Arenado. Wow, I almost blanked on the name as I said that. Traded for Nolan Arenado in this offseason, probably right up there with the biggest splashes of the offseason. I would say that, the Lindor trade, and of course when Bauer signed. So made a big splash there. They're bringing back a lot of people. Molina came back. Jack Flaherty probably going to have another unbelievable season as their ace over there. So they're reloaded. They're retooled with Arenado at third base. Jesse, what are your expectations for them?
Yeah, so I know they're kind of the trendy pick to win the Central here, and honestly, right after the Arenado trade, it's kind of hard not to kind of be in that same boat. But as I wrote today, I actually just released an article, kind of a humble plug here on why Nolan Arenado's numbers for the fantasy, at least, are probably going to be impacted a bit more than people think leaving Coors Field and heading to St. Louis. You know, it's really hard to get a read on this team. If everything goes well and everything goes, swimmingly as far as injuries go and everybody stays healthy, then this team can compete and can make the playoffs. But there is a lot of, uncertainty and a lot of question marks surrounding this team, in my opinion. I think they have not as good of an offensive team as you'd think. I mean, they have big names like Goldschmidt and Arenado and Yadier Molina, but they don't have some of these guys are getting older and they're not in their prime anymore. And it's just, there's a lot of
top heavy.
Yeah, it's top heavy, but it's also just, the range of outcomes is like crazy. I mean, this team could either not make the playoffs or they could like be a couple games away from going to the World Series, it seems like. But, so I can't really get a great read on them. I'll say this, their pitching staff is not good, man. They're going to have to make a few trades at the trade deadline, in my opinion, to be able to compete, because you can hit with Arenado and Goldschmidt in the top of that lineup, but all they really have is Flaherty and the pitching staff. They have a few guys already hurt this spring, like Miles Mikolas and a few others that are kind of having nagging injuries. The Kim guy, the pitcher from what is he from Korea? Yeah, the KBO.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so and then they just have a bunch of guys. Carlos Martinez he used to be a really good pitcher, but now he's just not the same. And Adam Wainwright's obviously getting towards the end of his career, and they just have a bunch of guys that are unknown. And then the back end of the bullpen kind of looks promising, but then again, they have a few guys coming off injuries that are almost always hurt, and that's kind of difficult to deal with as a pitcher. So there's just too many uncertainty spots on this lineup to where I don't know if I'm going to have them winning the division, surprisingly.
Now, who do you think their biggest competition is then? Is it your Reds? Is it, another one of those teams that can pop up? I mean, obviously the Cubs are still there, but, there's a lot of uncertainty. See, this is going to be one of the divisions to watch for me, outside of the East, obviously, because I think the NL East is going to be extremely fun, because I think it's fun because that one's more competitive in the sense that you feel like every team is talented enough to win. I'm going to watch this division, though, because I think it's interesting, because you don't know who's going to win, because you don't know what each team is doing. Like you said, the Cardinals need pitching help. The Cubs don't know if they want to rebuild or not. Are the Brewers going to bounce back? Are they going to end up? I mean, there's so many things up in the air. If you're picking one team, though, I mean, like your Reds, obviously we'll get into it, lost out Bauer. So, I mean, who are you picking?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil any Reds talk just yet. I obviously don't want to piss Michael off too much, but gun to my head, I'd probably pick the Brewers. I just think they have a really good team overall. I think they have a better pitching staff than they've had in the last couple of years. And as long as they don't sell some guys off, that's going to be their biggest things. If they have a rough start to the season, they end up selling off like Hader and a few other those guys, then obviously that just kind of goes down the drain. But I think they have a pretty promising offense and defense. Yelich had a really down year last year, and he can carry a team by himself in that offense. So I like the Brewers. I think, gun to my head, I'm not one of those biased Reds fans, so I'll be pretty real about how I feel. If the Reds stay healthy all year, I think they can compete towards the top of the division, but they're already battling injuries in the
Jesse,
training.
You mentioned it. The biased Reds fans, they're the worst. And speaking of some of the worst people I know, I wanted to get Michael in on here. So, Michael, how are we doing? Rushed home from work, probably still got the shirt on. You look wonderful, though.
The purple
Listen,
polo.
You look wonderful.
Thank you.
Of course, we're talking Cardinals right now. You got any thoughts? We've been spewing on about it for a couple minutes now, but I'll let you take it away.
Well, what I just kind of heard was a little talk of the Brewers and how they probably would do. I don't know exactly what all was said. I would say that I think St. Louis is probably the top contender to be number one in the Central, speaking from a biased Red fan. So I will say that I think that they are probably going to come out on top during the division this year, excuse me, in the Central. I also think the Brewers have a good chance to upset as well and be number one. I really do, and I know we ain't got into it yet. I'm assuming the Reds, but I think.
Oh, no, I saved it specifically for you.
Thank you. I think the Reds have a sneaky chance. When we didn't sign back Bauer, I was actually like, man, this year's going to suck. But the more and more I look at the lineup, and the more I see what's going on with them, and the change or the changing in the offensive line and the defensive line, even the infield alone, I'm excited for now. Like it seems like we've got a group of guys that just want to play baseball. It doesn't matter where. A lot of our players are back to their, I'll say, natural spot. So I mean, that's going to be interesting. And I'll let Jesse talk more about that because I know he's biting at the lip to even just talk about the Reds.
That's what I was going to say. I think we did our Cardinals stuff. Know, Mike,
who cares about the Cardinals?
No. Unless anybody else wants to say anything else, obviously Arenado's there now, big trade. Flaherty's probably their only pitcher, as me and Jesse kind of said. Everybody else is kind of there. But this is what the people are here for.
That's right. The Reds.
Listen, I'm going to lay back. I'm going to, kind of like what Michael did when I talked, we did AL East and I got to do my Yankee stuff. I'm just going to sit here. I got the garbage can next to me so I can throw up when you guys start, making love over the Reds. But you know what? Jesse, Michael, you take it away. Jesse, we'll start with you, and then we'll go biased Michael next.
Yeah, so as I kind of alluded to, I think if the Reds can stay healthy, I think they can compete towards the top of this division. As you mentioned, Anthony, it's just, it's not a great division. Let's just put it how it is. It's a division that is open and it's waiting for somebody to take it. And I think the Reds clearly have the best pitching staff in the division, and pitching wins a lot of games. So if they can stay healthy, I like their chances because, just two names that stick out to me right away are probably two names that not a lot of people know that aren't Reds fans or close followers of baseball. But I'm telling you guys, Tyler Mahle and TJ Antone are two names to watch out for this year. I think they're really going to make that next step. A lot of the analytics are kind of showing that they have the stuff that's needed and the command. And if they can just kind of put it together, they can make that next step and kind of build their own name and take the place of Bauer. I'm really praying and hoping that Wade Miley kind of just stays hurt to open up a rotation spot for TJ Antone because, there's talk about whether he's going to be in the bullpen, be that Josh Hader guy that kind of just pitches in the high leverage situations, pitches 2 innings at a time. They don't really have a clear role for him. And I'd like to just see them give him a chance to be the 5th starter, as if those that aren't following closely don't know, Michael Lorenzen, the former reliever and also fielder in the outfield, they basically all but locked him up as a rotation starter this year as well. So I'm not entirely confident in that move. I guess we could probably allude more into that later. But I do really like the pitching staff if they can stay healthy. The problem is like Amir Garrett and Lucas Sims, who are both battling for the closer spot, haven't pitched in 2 weeks because they're both dealing with injuries. And then you have Wade Miley that's down with an injury. And it's just like, okay, these injuries are starting to pile up. That being said, their biggest, weakest point from the team last year was obviously their offense. And I see a bounce back this year for the offense. I think a lot of these guys, for whatever reason in a shortened season, they just had the mentality of like, okay, you're going to hit a home run or you're going to strike out. Like they didn't have any real game plan going up to the plate other than the fact that they just wanted to crush the ball. And I think a lot of the hitters that they acquired, like Mike Moustakas and Castellanos, had those inconsistent type years. But if you just look in the past and look what they've done in the last couple of years, you can see they're actually really good hitters. They just didn't really perform the way they should have last year. So I do think that an improvement is coming on the offensive side. I think Nick Senzel, if he can stay healthy, is going to break out, man. Hey, what's up? What's up, Cheese? So, yeah, I just think they have all the offensive pieces to put it together, unlike they did last year. And if their pitching staff can kind of just stay healthy and put the pieces together to make up for that Bauer loss, I really do like them. I know it's kind of a long-winded answer here, but there's just a lot of interesting things to discuss, and I'll kind of let you lead next, Michael. And the biggest news that came out this week is, Suarez might be moving to shortstop, which he hasn't played like his entire major league career. He was a minor league shortstop, but he's apparently recently going to move over to shortstop, move Mike Moustakas over to his more natural defensive position at third base. And then that kind of opens up the spot for Jonathan India, the promising young prospect that's kind of made some noise this spring training. So I'll kind of let you kick off with what you think.
I'm sorry, I'm choked up here, guys. We're talking about my Reds only. No, actually, I tried the spicy chicken sandwich from McDonald's. It's very spicy, let me tell you.
Michael, are we serious right now?
I am. I tried it.
No. Not that. You're making us white folk look bad here now. Because everybody says we think pepper's spicy. The chicken, the McChicken was not hot. I had it. It wasn't hot.
It's kicking my tail right now. Let me just tell you. But
you're supposed to be a country guy.
I tell you what else is hot is how Suarez is going to be at shortstop this year. I tell you.
I hate you.
I actually think. Thank you. I even think Moose moving to third, which is weird because you haven't seen these guys. Well, now Moose you did see a couple years back playing third base, so he's going back to his at-home position. But Suarez, like Jesse said, hasn't played shortstop mostly his whole MLB career. But he actually says most of my baseball career I was a shortstop. So they even talked about how Geno has lost weight. He's more in shape right now. He's looking slim and much more fit.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. Yeah.
So let me tell you, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've never been so round in my life. But I'm excited about spiritually. This. Even Votto has talked about how well he's feeling this year. Of course, I know he's got COVID. So best luck to him. Best wishes. Get better soon and get back out there. But he's even trying to swing for dingers this year. Like if you ever watch Reds, Votto was the guy that if it's a 2-strike, he chokes up almost halfway through the bat just to make it harder to hit, which I loved. I absolutely love Votto as a hitter. I'm a little nervous to see what he's going to do with this swinging for the fences, but at the same time, this is the new baseball. If you can get 15 to 20 home runs from Votto, I think it's going to be a good year for the Reds. And what scares me about the Reds is, as we're getting closer, when the score or when the record is 0-0, I am hyped and on fire for every team I like. So it is our year. We're going at it, and then we're going to lose the first
Typical
game.
Cowboys fan, am I right, Jesse?
I know.
It's actually ironic that the two teams that we mentioned tonight, the Reds and Cardinals play each other opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So
opening week, yeah. But I think the Reds, if they don't get hurt have any kind of crazy injuries, we could make some noise. But if we get hurt, we'll probably be down there with Pittsburgh Pirates.
No, nobody will be there with Pittsburgh.
Well, you think they're going to lose 100 games. I think that's a little
extreme.
Close.
Going to be close.
It's going to be close, but I don't think they lose 100 games.
Oh,
but anyways,
you underestimate how bad they are.
Here's my thing when it comes to the Reds. Their lineup, everybody can hit a dinger or a home run. So that's what I think is going to be good about this lineup. If they're pitching, which is like preseason, they're ranking right now, I think 7th in the MLB right now. So if they're pitching,
who cares about that? Yeah, let's stop paying attention to those rankings.
Oh, well, you don't like the rankings? No? Well, I hear 7th or 8th. I think that's pretty good. We just need a solid couple of guys to replace our innings and our strikeouts that we lost with Bauer. But I think Sonny Gray is going to have a Cy Young year. I'm not saying he's winning it, but he's going to be in the contentions with
Castillo, dude.
Castillo's looking really good right now. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be right up there. So, I mean, that's a good 1-2 ace right there. So, here's the thing that I always get hurt with the Reds. We'll win a big game by like 8 runs, and then the next game we lose by like 9 runs. If we stay focused, I feel like, and stay series oriented, like let's not worry about this game. We've got to win each series. Like if we think win 2 out of 3 every time, it's going to help. And I just feel a lot of times when we get down, it's like we're losing by 50 for 4 games, and then all of a sudden we win by 50 for 4 games. And me and Jesse even talked about this last year. Every game that went to the 7th inning, we were about winning. And then it got to our relievers and our closers, and we would blow them. So we made the playoffs last year blowing a lot of games late in the innings. So if we can just capitalize on that and keep it going, and I like Garrett as the closer. I know Jesse talked about the two competing right now in the hurt, but I think Garrett, just his mentality, I think he's going to be lights out at closing. So I'm hyped from this team. In 150 games, I may be depressed about this team. But right now I'm hyped. They have a chance to make some noise.
Now, here's my question. I know losing Bauer is terrible.
Yes.
I argue it's not as terrible as some people are going to make it seem. But for either one of you, I mean, I guess we'll go with Jesse. Do you think because I mean, I look at it like this. I think if any team was built to lose, a Cy Young level pitcher, it was the Reds. Obviously you guys just talked about it. Castillo and Gray can both, be an ace on a very good team. So you would have had 3 aces. Now you have 2. I mean, how much does that hurt?
Yeah, so I guess the problem isn't necessarily that we lost an ace. It's that Bauer just gives you the security. Like he's going to throw 200 innings every year. Like he's not going to have any durability issues. He's probably going to go deep in games. He's going to save your bullpen. Those are the things that Bauer brought. Not necessarily what I'm worried about isn't necessarily the fact that, he had good production, because I think we can get good production from, like I mentioned, Maui and TJ Antone this year. But the problem is those guys aren't going, 7-8 innings every single time, and it kind of taxes the bullpen. So, it's one of those things that's really where you miss him the most. And I'm not kidding when I say that he makes everyone around him better. And I mean, Sonny Gray has admitted it. I think other pitchers have admitted it. Lorenzen has admitted it. Just the science that he brings and the workout regimen and everything that Bauer has that he brought to the ball club just makes everybody around him better. And especially the competitor he is, it kind of makes everybody else want to step up their game and do that too. So that's kind of what you miss most with losing him. But, we have the talent to do it. It's just a matter of kind of putting it all together. That's what I worry about most, losing him.
Michael.
I concur. Jesse said it great. It's really what we're going to do in our 4th and 5th starting rotation. Can they keep it up all year? I think the bats are going to be there this year. I don't know about our batting average. It was 225 last year. That sounds horrible, but when we did make contact, it was a home run. So I would like to see us play a little bit better small ball, but yet be relevant with the home runs. It's the Reds. That's the thing. Like we don't have to have the greatest pitching staff in our ballpark. We just have to be good. We have to have good starts and have a good closer and have a great reliever with home runs.
So you need a lot of good pitching, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And
we have it. We just got to have them break out.
I love being a Yankee fan. Not have to worry about any of this. I love him. I love annoying both of you. That's the best thing I can possibly do. But
you do it well too.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing because I try. So, but you mentioned that order. Is this bounce back season, Michael? I know. I know we weren't obviously doing the show yet, but just talking about it between me and you with the, even when Bauer was going out there throwing 8 scoreless innings, whatever pitcher was pitching against the Reds in those playoffs were doing the exact same thing. I don't even know how many runs they scored in that playoff series. Zero.
Is that a joke? Is that a joke?
No, I was being serious. I thought at least it won.
No, we didn't score one.
That's you know what they went 0-0. They were trying to shout you out, Michael.
That's right. Appreciate it. Double O.
So is this your bounce back? Who's who are you relying on? I'll say this. Who's your breakout that's going to start the engine that is the offense?
I think Geno this year because he was not very relevant much of last year. Towards the end when we got on fire, we did rely on him some. But, I mean, even in our Dinger League that we had here at Unwrapped Sports, I think – Jesse, did you actually draft him?
Or no, I think it was Perry.
Perry. I think Perry had him. And that's one thing we talked about. Is like we thought Suarez was going to have so many home runs, but like he had more strikeouts than home runs, which was crazy at the time of that. But – yeah, I think, and that's why I think he's slimmed down. He's in more shape, better shape of his life here. So I think he did feel bad last year because he was supposed to be our guy. But really, I think Moose was their best player last year as far as offensively. If it wasn't for COVID, he went for like a straight 7 games where he had like at least a couple doubles or a home run. Then it was like he caught COVID and was out for 10 days, and then took him a few days to get back in it, and he got going. And then something else happened. So it's like Moose could never stay consistent. And I think, man, I really like 2 through 6 in our lineup batting. I think look pretty good right now. So yes, I'm going with Geno breakout, or not really breakout, but redemption.
Like a Gary Sanchez type.
Yes,
he's looking great in spring training, by the way. But Jesse, what do you think about your offense?
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. I think Senzel. I think. He has to take the next step. We've been waiting for it for a few years. He's always kind of been injured. One reason or another, he just hasn't kind of produced the way that we thought. Last year it was COVID. I mean, I think he caught it twice or something. I mean, he was out of the lineup quite a bit due to that. So, I'm looking for him to make the next step. He's just so well-rounded. He can play defense, which our team needs badly. He can run a little bit. He can hit for a little bit of power. He just does a little bit of everything. And, I think we need those types of guys. We had too many, home run or bust type plate appearances last year. And we need those types of guys to get on, create a little bit of noise, be able to, actually get on base for the home runs to mean something. I mean, solo shots can only go so far. So, that's kind of the guy I'm looking for to make the next step. Geno's kind of already shown what he can do, but I do agree with Michael on the bounce back. I kind of looking for a big season out of him too.
All right, I need one of you to do it then. Which one of you's picking the Reds to win the division? Michael, I'm going you, I assume.
To pick the division or the Central?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm going to still say the Cards. I think the Cards are the better team right now.
What a fake fan, fair weather, clearly.
Do you want my honest opinion or my bias?
I was expecting. Listen, if I'm in full transparency here, I was expecting the bias and then the level-headed from Jesse. But continue.
No, I think Cardinals are the better team right now, who are veterans. Anything Cardinals, I mean, they're in, year out. They're the top. But I do think the Reds have the highest ceiling in their Central.
I think the Reds are better than the Cardinals. I'll say it.
Now who's biased?
I think the Brewers. Are who we need to watch out for. So I think it's between. It's going to be a 3-team race, maybe a 4. I mean, the Cubs. I know I've kind of been down on them, but they could. I mean, they could theoretically, if their offense plays to their potential and they don't trade their guys, like if they actually hold on to them, who the hell knows? But theoretically, they could put together a few win streaks as well and compete. I mean, it's basically a 4-team race for who's going to win it. And, then it's the Pirates. So
thank you, Pirates.
That's kind of what, when me and Mike were breaking down all the teams, that's kind of what we said about them anyway. It's a 4-team race and then the Pirates kind of exist. So, we're kind of getting into that, but all right. Is that all the Reds we got, guys? Or are we all good? Is everything out of the system?
I feel good.
No, but we'll go with it. We could take 4 hours and talk about the Reds. I mean, we didn't even say Johnny Bench's name.
What was the giveaway we did that you didn't win, Michael?
Pete Rose.
Oh yeah,
That's okay.
That one has to sting a little bit.
No, it doesn't. Uh-oh. Hang on.
Oh yeah, so you still wouldn't have wanted that picture?
Yeah.
All right, so it's definitely has to sting a little bit. But all right,
That's true.
with that being said, we got some guests today, people, other than Jesse. I know Jesse's
Other
gonna
than
have to
Jesse.
head out of here eventually. I don't know if it's right now. Jesse, you out?
Here in about 5 minutes, yeah.
All right. You know what? Well, while we have Jesse, we'll bring on Dalton. You know, our longtime compatriot, our third host, basically. It's been a while. You know,
Our
man,
third
Dalton over here
hostess
doing
with the
busy
mostest.
things. But you know, here he is, ladies. Dalton, how are we doing,
What's up?
brother?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, it's Dalton. I guess that's what Michael was going for with that, but you know,
I'm sorry.
we
How we
need some-
doing, Smiley?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Oh,
Doing
you know,
good. It's
as
been a
they say,
while
living the
since you've been
dream.
on here.
I know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Dalton, I don't know if you met Jesse. This is Jesse. Jesse's the
Nice to
main
meet you,
man.
Jesse.
Pleasure to meet you, my friend.
He's the real main man over there, Dalton. But we also, as we've described, we have another special guest that Dalton actually has met and talked with before, and that's kind of how I started following him a little bit on Instagram. So thought it'd be just perfect for Dalton for you to go ahead and give an introduction. We'll bring him on as well.
Okay, so our guest is Benji Johnson. He played at University of North Carolina. He was obviously a catcher. He got drafted in the 17th round by the Braves. He played in the minor leagues for a while. I'm not sure exactly who he played with, but he can tell you more of that here.
Benji,
Hey,
what's
alright.
going on?
Hey, so you know a lot about me, man.
Done my research.
No, Dalton,
Okay.
stop being a creeper, bro. What are we doing?
Did your research?
Benji, honestly, I'm going to let you be straight here. I sent that to him, let him know what to say.
I
God,
got my Carolina beanie on.
Oh,
you know, I'm not going to lie. That kind of breaks my heart just a little bit, but you know, have fun in the tournament. I'm a big, big Kentucky fan, so
Oh, okay,
that's okay.
gotcha.
all right.
So thank you for being on the show. The reason that we brought him on here, reached out to him on Instagram. Dalton has shared a few videos about when he went down to Nashville, right? And worked with Benji at a catching camp, more or less, or a techniques thing there. And Dalton, I just kind of want you to talk about what all you did there. And then I'm going to try to bring up our video, what you actually posted, and just hear more from Benji and what all you do exactly. And we'll just kind of go from there, okay?
Michael, you said it real nice. I want to know, Benji, why Dalton sucked before, okay? No, I'm kidding. But Dalton,
He was-
take it away.
He was pretty good when he got down here.
When he got done. There we go.
Yeah, when I got done. Yeah, so basically I just reached out to Benji. I wanted him to help me with my throwing aspect. In my eyes, that's my weakest part of my game. So I wanted him to help me, get rid of the ball faster, have more clean movements. So he basically just fixed all that in literally 15 minutes.
So, Benji, you're a magician over here.
I wouldn't say that. But yeah, you want me to talk a little bit about what we did, how we accomplished that?
Yeah, let us know, the whole – I want to know the whole process. As someone who, although I have no talent, would love to coach one of these days. I'm trying to figure out, how you get into this certain things. Why don't you break down the tape right here as Michael does have it up? If you want to, just go over some of the things.
Yeah, that's cool. So I just saw that pop up on the screen. That's pretty cool there. Yeah, pretty simple, man. When he came to me, he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'll be in the Nashville area. I want to train with you." I just trained a buddy of his, I think the weekend before, and he saw the results that we got. I was like, "Yeah, sure, man." So we got together, I think, for about an hour and 15 minutes the first day, and this video still on the left. That's I call it the take-in video, so we'll call that the before. So that's before we did any instruction. And then on the right, that's the after. So that was probably, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes later. And the main thing was trying to clean up two aspects of his throw. And he told me that he kind of had a hitch in his throw anyway. So we took a look at that. So that was one part that we cleaned up. The other part was just being more efficient and getting his right foot down. And that's just a rhythm and timing thing. So we worked on the rhythm and timing mostly. And then the second thing we worked on was the arm action. And a lot of times just working on the lower half and the rhythm and timing, it'll clean up arm actions. So in this video, we hadn't really worked much on the arm yet. This is mostly just lower body rhythm and timing things, getting that foot down sooner. You can tell in the video, I think on the left, he got his foot down at like a 0.3 something. And then on the right, it was around like a 0.2 or 0.23. Let's see. If you scroll through the video real quick, we'll see. So on the right side, his foot's down at like a, I don't know, maybe just under a 3 there. It's hard to tell when it's going quick. But yeah, that was the main thing. Get that foot down quicker. And then that enables him to get rid of the ball faster.
So I don't mean to interject here, but I got a question. I am absolutely fascinated. I could watch it a million times over at these videos of catchers like just on their knees, just, lining missiles to second base, and just how they're able to do that. Is that something that is able to be taught, or is that just like God-given talent that's just, these guys can just pull off these miraculous throws in no time, basically?
Yeah, I'd say that's a combination of both. It's part of it's just natural talent, ability, and then part of it can be coached. I think the coaching aspect of it, you kind of have to have a little bit of the physical tools necessary to pull something off like that. And then the coaching can just kind of fine tune it for the player. I think about myself as an example. When I was in high school, I used to throw to second base from my knees, but I was never taught how to do it. I never trained. To me, it was just a reaction. So there were certain pitches that would kind of take me to my knees as I caught it, and I would just turn and throw it all in one, and it just kind of happened. Then, now that I'm on the training side of it, I'll actually coach kids on how to move their body properly to throw from their knees. There's definitely some technique to it. The main thing that I try to get across to guys is just to basically have their right foot set in the ground before they catch it. So they kind of have a push off, and then get full extension through their back leg, through their right leg, and then follow through their throw. It's pretty simple as far as the cues that I use with the throwing from the knees. But I think it's a combination of coaching and some natural ability there.
Now, I kind of have a quick question as well. The new wave I've kind of seen in the MLB, obviously being a Yankee fan, seeing with Gary Sanchez as well, is like the whole like one like on your knee on one leg and then the other leg kind of out. Is that the new wave of catching, or is that something that is being taught now, or is that the evolution of the catcher position?
Yeah, I would say it's a number of things. It's been around for a long time. I think it's been around longer than I realized. I thought it was fairly new, like in the last 5-6 years. And then I saw a video that was in black and white. So it must have been from like the 50s. And the catcher, it was a major league catcher, and he was on one knee in his primary setup. So I was like, all right, well, guys have been doing this for a really long time. I just didn't know that. I do think that it is more of like a new wave where it's becoming more prevalent. But I don't think it's inherently new. I don't think it's a brand new thing that was just invented. I think it's just catching on a lot more. And I think more guys are seeing benefit from it. And that's why we're seeing it more at the big league level, college level. You've seen it everywhere, really, high school. All kinds of players are doing it now.
Do you think it saves knees better doing that?
I think it can. But, you're still, if you're on one knee, you're still loading the other knee. It just depends on the way you're set up. But either way, you're still loading one knee or the other, or both knees. And it's a lot of up and down anyway. And that also, I think, is more just an anatomical thing, or a physiological thing. Whoever you're talking about, I never had knee problems when I played, and I was a traditional, 2-foot stance. Never did the knee down stuff when I played, and I caught for about 18 years. My issues were always my feet, my hips, and my back. My knees never hurt though. So I think it depends on the person more than anything.
Now, I say, you said that you caught for 18 years. In my career of baseball, I caught a total of 1 inning. So, my knees were hurting quite a bit afterwards. I got a little sand in my eye, a little dirt, and I was kind of done with that. And the thought that I was using someone else's cup too was really weird. But
Yeah, it's not
I want to ask you this.
Well, wait, whoa.
Let's here or
We're
there.
going
Let's
to
just
skip
keep
past
on
the
going.
other
Keep
person's
on
cup
going.
part?
You know what? It was a little league. It happens. Do you think that? Well, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I'm left-handed, so that's why I've only caught for one inning. It was my last year of Little League, and I was like, hey, I'd like to at least catch one time so I could. How come left-handed throwers, not catchers, I guess, are not catchers?
really
What
good
is
question.
like? Why is that?
Yeah, I wish
It
I
breaks
knew.
my heart, man.
I have no idea. As softball, you see it a lot more in softball, but I've asked the same question, man, because I get parents all the time that they're heartbroken because they got a little kid's a lefty, and they want to catch, and sometimes in Little League they do, and they're really good, and then all of a sudden they'll come across a coach when they get a little older, and the coach says, "Hey, you're left-handed, you can't catch anymore." So I get those messages a lot on Facebook or Instagram. A parent will reach out and say, "Hey, is this coach crazy, or is this kind of the deal?" And I was like, "That's kind of the deal." And they asked me why, and I'm like, "I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's just what it is." And the explanation I've heard is it's harder for the lefties to make throws, I think is what I've heard, but I don't see how, because they just plant their left foot and throw. We plant our right foot and throw. So,
Right.
yeah.
And to me, as a catcher, they always say the hardest throw is not really to second, it's the throw to third half the time. And
Right.
I always thought, as a left-handed thrower, I can't say catcher, it's weird, it would just be a pivot of your left foot and you're behind the batter and you could throw down the third. I always thought that would be an easy move, actually. But as a right-handed thrower, you kind of got to shift your feet to throw behind a right-handed batter, correct?
Well, I think a lefty throwing a third is actually probably harder than a righty because they got to turn their whole body. It'd be like a back pick for us going to first. We have to be real quick, and our bodies turned, our shoulders turned. However, if we're going to go to our feet, it's got to be a quick move to the feet and snap throw. Whereas the throw to third is actually really easy for the righty. It's just a little teeny shuffle, and it's out of the hand.
Okay.
But to answer the question, I don't know why lefty. I mean, that might be the only reason right there, that it's a little bit harder to throw to third. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, I was never able to play shortstop either because I'm a left-hander.
Yep.
And now in a men's softball league, I actually played second base. I actually moved around, and they're like, "Hey, we just want you to play second base this game." Sure, that's fine. That a position a left-handed person cannot play because it is impossible to turn two if you're left-handed on second base. Now, shortstop, I can see it happening, so I'll try to let me play short, and I say, no, you can't. You're left-handed. It's prejudice, man. Just because I'm left-handed, I have to be a first baseman.
Wasn't there a big leaguer that played third base, a lefty, for like an inning or something last year? Am I crazy?
You may be crazy, but I don't know the answer to the question.
I could have sworn I saw a lefty for like an inning or something, or maybe the shift was on or something. I swear there's a lefty on the wrong side of the infield.
We'll have to check that out because I could see it happening, making big news. So tell us about your business, if you want to call it. I know you don't have a Twitter, do you? Because I searched for hours trying to find a Twitter handle for you and could not find a thing.
My name's too long, so I had to make it Benji J Catching.
Okay, so that's what it is. Gotcha.
What a rookie, Michael. Come on.
Listen, I'm 34 years old. This Twitter thing's new to me, and it's kind of crazy that it is. But I'm trying. But tell us about your website and how many drills. I know you've got quite a bit of that stuff. Just how if somebody wants to find out, because you're not just in Nashville, correct?
Yeah. So I'm from North Carolina. My parents still live there. I've only been out here in Tennessee for a little bit, just a few months, really. Okay. So I still go to North Carolina pretty much once a month and still train the guys there. But my website is BenjiJohnsonCatching.com, and on there, I think I've got I think it's 132 drills or something like that. I've got what's called a catching portal. So you sign up for a monthly, I think it's a monthly membership. They have access to all the drills. There's some PDF things that I put together they're like sample workouts that essentially just combine different drills together that I think go together really well to create, a workout for them to do. And I don't remember how many examples. I think I have maybe 6 sample practices in each category: receiving, blocking, throwing. Then I've got some combination ones too. And then I've got what I think is probably the most valuable thing that I have on my website is, 2 things. I got my pop time program, and then I've got like a catcher analysis, like so video analysis of throwing or receiving or blocking. Somebody can send it in and get an analysis done.
Okay.
Yeah, the pop time program, I've had a lot of guys, and I love when I hear the success stories. I'll train a guy or something, and he'll be like, yeah, man, I did your pop time program and I love it. I do it over and over. It's a 6-week program, and they'll complete it, and then, they'll go right back and do it again. And, they said they love it. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. Cause I don't get to hear the feedback very often, so it's cool to hear. So I think that's probably one of my best things I offer right there.
I know as soon as you all were done, you and Dalton over here, he instantly, I was kind of talking back and forth, see what was going on with him. He's like, dude, this was awesome. Like, he fixed me in like 5 minutes, it seemed. Dalton, let's hear a little more from you about your experience there. Like, what was you more admiring? What did you love about the program? What all did you see that you liked? And if you could tell someone, this is not just for youth either. It's like all the way up to major league, that he can help it with his programs.
Right. So basically, like I said, I wanted to focus on throwing mostly, and so I have a really long arm action. Me and Benji were talking. I throw like an infielder because I did play infield. I do play infield right now in college, and my whole life I was an infielder. So now I have actually even changed my arm slot since the last day I worked with Benji, and it's really helped me out. So instead of getting like way far back here, I'm more 90 degrees here, so I can throw faster, take pressure off my elbow, stuff like that. So we worked on getting my foot down faster, the transfer part. That's pretty much what we done the whole time. So it was pretty good. I mean, and like I was texting you about it.
I know watching the first video, and I'm totally untrained when it comes to even talking anything catchers. But watching the first video with Dalton, as he's sent it to me, I mean, he looks like he's a trotting horse, really, with his little 2 steps that he was doing there. And he kept preaching, get that foot down fast as you can, just get the foot down. And I started kind of analyzing, if you will, the 2 different things. And it's so much quicker just getting the foot down, how much faster it starts everything else. That's what I was in awe as a untrained anything when it came to that. So, and it's crazy how these little small things that if you've never heard, you don't know. And it's great that you have these programs like this, Benji, where you can actually help out and reach out to these people to help improve their game. So I love it, and thank you for that. Jesse, you all got anything else you want to ask on here?
No, man.
Yeah, Benji, I'm just curious. The big thing in the majors right now is kind of the receiving and framing and everything like that. Is there a most underrated and most overrated thing that catchers do that, overrated being that, should really be worked on more than, the overrated, it's just truly not as important as everybody makes it seem to be?
It's a really good question. I'm going to have to think about that for a second. The most overrated? I don't know if there's like a most overrated thing. But I know there's some stuff that I don't necessarily agree with that I hear taught a lot, or at least like drills. And so I'm like I think my philosophy on receiving is a little bit different than I've seen other people, where a lot of people, they talk about receiving with these 3 fingers, and that's where I differ a lot. I don't talk about these 3 fingers at all. So I see a lot of drills, where young kids will catch the ball like this all the time. And I personally don't like that. So that's one area where I'm a lot different, I think, than I think, a lot of guys that teach catching. I might be completely wrong, but I've just seen a lot of kids that have come to me and will do bare hand drills, and they'll immediately go to this right here. And I'm like, wait a minute, use your whole hand. So I like the idea of catching from, if I can get it in the frame, thumb to pinky. And actually, I was working with a young guy the other day, and I had this idea to think of, holding a pencil right here. So the issue with him was he was like really loose with his wrist, and he was weak. When he would try to come back up, the ball would knock him around because he's using this type of action too much. And I wanted him to kind of fuse his wrist to his hand, so it's more of like this type of move with the forearms doing the movement there. So it's a stronger move because I'm fused here, if that makes sense, instead of doing this. So I told him, imagine he's holding a pencil. So when he went like that, you can tell like that little tendon pops up. So there's a little bit of tension right there in my wrist. So just by him thinking, he's holding a pencil, that made his move a little bit cleaner. And then I told him when he caught it to imagine the ball is breaking the pencil, right? So instead of grabbing the ball, you just, boom, let the ball come into your hand, and that's how you make the catch. So this particular catcher, he was struggling with, the wrist bend, and then he would kind of like jab out and almost try to catch it like that. So the way that I got him to fix that was, hey, imagine you're holding a pencil and boom, let the ball break the pencil. And that helped him a lot. So that's one area where I would say maybe I'm a little bit different than a lot of other guys. But then I think the other thing you said was, what's the most underrated thing? That might be the most underrated thing. Is catching the ball. And I have a glove somewhere.
And that is why Benji does what he does. That's exactly why.
All right,
We're gonna get a live demonstration, people. You should all be paying for this right now. We got you.
That's right.
All right, so the most underrated thing I would say is I think a lot of people talk about pocket awareness, and it's definitely something that people say is important, but I think it's not emphasized enough or stressed enough. The pocket of the mitt is actually right here at the base of the web, right? So that's like where the manufacturer makes the pocket. But I always tell guys to try to shift their pocket down a little bit lower. So I can get my hand out of the way. Can't really see that, but trying to catch the ball more down here, like behind that finger, instead of up here where the actual pocket is. I always tell guys to catch it a little further down. So when you're catching the ball a little further down in the pocket down here, you got a lot more ball control. So it doesn't knock the mid around. Catch a ball over here near the web, kind of knocks the mid around a little bit. And it's harder to get the exchange. If you catch it, what I call the sweet spot, that's when you get that loud pop of the mitt. It's kind of down in here. You got more ball control. It doesn't move the mid around, and you can exchange it a lot faster. So that might be the most underrated thing. I think that's the topic we're on right now, underrated.
Yeah. Now, I've got a question for you. Catching it there, do you have any people getting hurt, breaking any kind of fingers or thumbs?
No, not there.
Okay. Because I'm not going to lie, I was trying to transition into something there for you, because I'm pretty sure you've got a patent going on for a glove that's supposed to protect the thumb.
Oh, that's not me. I sell that. That's I know the guy that sells. His name's Denny.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I was checking it on your website.
Yeah, that's called Team Defender. And the owner, he's a great guy. He's down in where is he? Louisiana, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's down in Louisiana. But yeah, he created that. He patented that. And a lot of guys really like that thing. Yeah, the Team Defender Pro Series thumb guard. Yeah.
Okay. Dalton, have you ever had a broken finger while catching?
I have not, but I actually use, Benji's seen mine, I use a PVC pipe. Well, not a pipe. It's like a flat piece of PVC that you mold to your thumb. And
what is that called?
It might be called
Orthoplast.
Dexter's thumb. I don't know what it's called exactly.
Orthoplast, right?
Maybe. I don't know. Zan Barnesdale, I think, was the one that come up with it.
So when I played in the minor leagues, all the trainers, they had this stuff called Orthoplast, and it's a really expensive just material. I don't know what it is. It comes in these little sheets.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost feels like a rubber, and then they dip it in hot water. They mold it around your thumb, and then it turns into like a PVC pipe. But that's
what I use.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like making a cast almost with it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
interesting. Never knew that was a thing.
Shattered this summer. I was catching our closer at about, he was throwing like 98 to 100, and it shattered on me this summer. Saved my thumb.
Every time I think of thumb injuries and hand injuries, I can't get the image out of my mind that has nothing to do with baseball. But for whatever reason, the Mighty Ducks movie with the goalie bruising his hand or whatever.
For catching the puck
out of his palm.
I got you. Iceland, I'm with you. I know.
Yep.
Oh, listen, we're young out here, guys. Me and Dalton, at least. I
was curious.
I've seen that movie, but I don't remember it at all.
It's Mighty Ducks 2.
I remember the V or something like the flying V.
Yeah,
Right.
flying V.
Flying V. Let's go with the flying V. Let's not go with just the V. That sounds a little weird.
This is a G-rated show.
Yeah.
Michael always tries to make it something else. Unbelievable what you do, Michael. But I do have another question because, we were going over some of the rule changes that are going on in the MLB or what they're trying to, enforce right now. I guess in low A, like Southwest or one of the low A leagues, they're actually transitioning to an automated strike zone, which is, of course, something that, the baseball purists and, even people that, don't want some of these rule changes are kind of against. Benji, I want to go with you from the, the coaching perspective. And then Dalton, you, of course, are catching right now, making your way, through leagues like this. What does that do to the catching position? Because, like we've said, framing is kind of an important thing that people are stressing right now. So how much does that change the catching position? Does it change coaching for you at all, Benji? What do you think about it?
So I don't like it. I would fall in the category of baseball purist when it comes to the strike zone. Balls and strikes being automated versus, a human umpire. I just think the relationship of catcher umpire is so cool, so unique. I would never want to see that part of the baseball game or softball for that matter ever go away. The umpire calling balls and strikes. I just think that's really cool. It's a staple in the game of umpires getting yelled at by coaches, players, fans. That's it. And then the catcher back there talking to the guy. Now, as far as what would it change from a training perspective, I don't think it would necessarily hurt the position too bad because, the guys would still have to be skillful because the pitchers are so good. A lot of people think, and I think I used to think this too, that, they just stick anybody back there because it didn't matter, if they changed the strike zone or if they made it automated. But I think you still got to have a guy that's skillful back there because the pitches are pretty dang nasty. And if you're not skillful, you're gonna get hurt. So you can't just stick somebody back there that, can't really catch. They still got to be able to catch the ball and be decent back there, I think. So I don't think it would really change a whole lot from the coaching perspective other than, you might just focus more on just catching the ball and not really manipulating the ball at all anymore.
Yeah, Dalton, what do why does it change everything for you if it does at all?
I mean, I think,
not that talented.
honestly, I think receiving is not going to be as important, because it don't matter how you catch the ball. But I think they'll focus more on blocking and obviously throwing runners out. That's about it. As far as receiving wise, you can't do anything if you have the automated strike zone because wherever the ball crosses, that's what they're going to call. So
it's true.
I just think, and me and Connie talked about this when we did talk about it, was just how much of the human aspect of the game it's going to take out and make it more obviously robust with a computer being there, robotic. But Benji, you kind of made me think about something. What is? I want to know this. Let me just ask it this way: what's the craziest conversation? I'm sorry, man. Oh, there he is. What's the craziest conversation that you've ever had with an umpire? Like, how does that go? Like, do you just, hey, man, how's it going? All right, this guy's coming.
I lost sound.
Oh, no.
We hear you, but I guess you can't hear me say that we hear you. Are you there now?
Nope.
You got to love the beauty of doing things live.
Well, Dalton, while you're catching, let me ask you that, and hopefully he can hear you talk here in a second. We'll just keep on going with it. What's your conversation? Like when you go up to a game, I want to hear what your plan is that you do with the Big Blue, but then I also want to hear like a crazy story that you've done. Like, now you're seeing where these catchers are accidentally moving away and the ball hitting the umpire. Obviously, we know you ain't done nothing like that because your dad would kill you. But what's something that you do in a game with the umpire?
Well, I'm a very talkative guy, and I like to have fun when I play. So we talk about everything from where are you from, what are you going to eat after this, things like that. Just random things. But as far as something crazy, I don't think I have anything crazy. I know we did pause the game one time to watch a fight in the crowd. We did do that. The umpire called time and he was like, "Hey, let's check this fight out. There's something going on in the crowd."
Okay. All right.
So yeah,
What
we did
level
do
was
that.
this at?
This was in Florence, actually.
Okay. So this was actually
Who
while you're
won?
playing with the Legends then.
Yes.
I need to know who won the fight.
Well, it was an old man and a younger guy. I think he spilled his beer on him. I'm pretty sure.
Oh gosh.
Gotta get it every time.
Yeah. So
Which is why I still hate the Cubs.
Yeah, they got into a tussle. His son actually was playing for Florence, so yeah, it was a mess.
Okay. Benji, are you back with us now? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. What's some conversations that you've had with the umpires? Like, have you ever, like, I won't say cussed one out, but like, did some dirty stuff to them? Like, while they've been down, break the wind a little bit. Yeah, get you a whiff of that because you're horrible. Like, what's something crazy that you've done?
No, I was always I never got mad at them. I never say anything. I was just pretty much just talk to them the whole game and friendly conversation the whole time. I was never, as a player, I was never a guy that got heated. I was pretty even keel, level headed. But I did have one umpire get really mad at me my first year and kind of pissed me off a little bit too. Pissed me off that he got mad at me because I worked my butt off, make sure those guys are safe back there. And I had a lefty on the mound. This is my first year in pro ball. I was in the Appy League up in Danville. I was catching a left-hander. He threw about 95, 96, and he wasn't always sure where it was going to go. And I set up outside to a righty. And so where the umpire sets up is they call it the pocket. So I'm set up outside, right-handed batter's over here. So the umpire's, right here on my left side, in between me and the batter. And this guy cuts it at about 96 miles an hour. And I was expecting the ball to go the other way. And so I'm, reaching over here real quick, try to catch it, and I couldn't get to it. And it hit the umpire right in his left forearm. It fractured his forearm. And,
dang.
Yeah, I felt terrible, And the first thing I did, obviously, was turn around and check on him. How you doing, man? Like, sorry. And the next day he's wanting cash or something. I'm like, dude, what in the world? What's going on? And he just, with a little pissy attitude, told me that he fractured his forearm or something. And he was holding it against me. And he wasn't mad that he got hurt. He was like pissed at me. And I'm like, well, screw you, dude, I didn't do it on purpose. I don't know where I got to know where it was going. And I'm over here. That's just, that's part of it. I couldn't get to it.
Right.
So, so that's the only thing that some friction that happened a little bit.
Right.
Now, Benji, my another quick little question. If there's, the gold standard to say, is there somebody that, when you're training somebody or like Dalton that you're like, all right, just go home and watch, 30 hours of this guy play catcher because this is everything you want to be?
All right. So for some reason the sound cut out. Can you say that again? Was that?
Yeah, no problem. Is there like a gold standard catcher that, when you're going to train somebody, you're like, listen, just go watch tape of this guy because he's so good?
Right. So, is that Johnny Bench? He's pretty good. No, there's not. What I try to do, so I always did this with myself as a hitter, is I would, when I was playing, I worked on my swing quite a bit, and I would always try to look for guys that were more like me. So guys who were my size and, at the big league level, maybe we're hitting like 250. So I was like, that's probably more of what I could do at that level. So let me look at that type of hitter and see what he's doing to have success, and then try to learn from that. So what I do a lot of times with catchers is the same thing. I'll try my best to compare them to somebody of their size or, where I think they could be, and have them look at those guys. Obviously, the gold standard for me is going to be Yachty. Yachty's just so good. I love everything that guy does. Reds fan. Tucker Barnhart.
I'm done.
Tucker Barnhart.
Okay. All right, we're back.
Tucker's awesome. He's really good. 2 gold gloves in the last 5 years, I think. But yeah, Yachty, man, just the way he controls the field, all the different setups that he does, just how smooth he is. If I had to pick gold standard right now, he'd be my gold standard. And then other guys that I like to look at, obviously Tucker Barnhart. He does a really good job. So you got Yachty, Tucker. Who else is doing really well? Austin Barnes is another guy I love to watch. I love his receiving. So I kind of pick and choose different things from different guys.
All right, Michael, you got anything else?
Well, I was just saying, I will have to say this. Yachty, spring training, I'm sure everyone's seen the video. I mean, that was pretty dope what he did. And he just said, hey, go on.
Now,
And you got him
how
out.
quick you got rid of that ball? So I timed it. I think his release time was a 0.58.
Ooh.
And the pop time was like and that's, I mean, in game 0.58 is fast. And the pop time, I got like a 1.84.
Sheesh.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
Dalton, what you
up.
sitting at right now?
He cranked it up because he was
About a 3.
He wanted to throw that guy out. And that's the other cool thing about Yachty is he's a guy that if he wants to just dial it up whenever he wants to, he can, which is just insane to me. You know, he's good. That guy's good.
I mean, I have to give credit where it's due, even though I can't stand him since, the Reds and Cardinals fight, but, whatever.
Listen, Benji, I might need you to head on over to New York and get my guy Sanchez in line.
So they've got what's his name? Tanner. Is it Tanner Swanson? Is that his name? I think. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is he the catching coach over there?
Yeah, I think it's Tanner Swanson. I think I'm saying the name right. But he's been doing a really good job with Gary up there. I think he's been there for a couple of years now. I actually saw an interview spring training this year that we were talking about his progress. That guy's good. He's really good at coaching catchers. Yeah, I think he used to be maybe at the University of Washington. I think that's right. I don't know. He's from Washington, maybe. I don't know, but he's good.
Well, you know what? I'm
All
praying.
right. Let's have some fun questions now. Who was your awe moment while catching? Like the guy that comes into the batter box while you're catching, you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm calling pitches right now against this guy.
Well, I would say pitcher, actually. I couldn't really think. I mean,
Okay.
maybe Giancarlo Stanton, but he was Mike Stanton back then.
That's when he was good, when he was Mike.
No,
That
that's
was-
not
that
true.
was
He won
back
an
in,
MVP as Giancarlo.
That was back in A-ball. I remember we were in Rome, and this just gigantic human being walks into the box, and I'm like, let's see, I was 22, 21, 22 years old. I was 6'2", 190 pounds, 185 pounds. This guy walks in, 18 years old, and I'm looking up. I'm like, who in the world is this? And then I found out he's 18. He's like 6'5", 240 or something, and his arms were the size of my head. Dude hit a baseball off the batter's eye that probably didn't get over 8 feet high. I mean, you're talking 400 feet, 8-foot line shot. That was probably one of those 120 mile an hour balls that he hits,
Right.
Yeah. So that guy, that guy could hit a baseball. Really, really. Yeah.
All right. What about pitchers now?
So that
Who have
same
you
year,
caught?
I got to catch John Smoltz. That was probably the coolest thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so same thing, 21, 22-year-old, and he was rehabbing that year. I think it was Tommy John he was dealing with. He was coming off of that. So Rome was only about a 40-minute drive from Atlanta. So he rehabbed over there in Rome. And the day I met him was pretty funny. He was in the training room, and I grew up watching the Braves fan. So Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz were the guys, So I walk into the training room, and I said, "Hey, Mr. Smoltz, my name's Benji Johnson. I'll be catching you today." And he looks at me, shakes my hand. He goes, "Just call me John." That was it. I was like, "All right, Mr. John."
Mr. John.
Yeah. So that was a really cool experience. And then on the field, he really freaked me out because his first warm-up pitches, he threw one about 50 feet up the backstop. And I was like, oh, man, this dude just blew his elbow out again. So I go running out to the mound, and I said, "Hey, John, are you all right, man?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm good. Happens once a game." I was like, "All right." He was good to go. I'm like, "All right, man. It's your game, whatever."
Okay.
Yeah. So that was cool.
All right. So let's see here. What else can we ask? I want to know, have you ever called for the pitcher to throw inside on a batter? Like, what happens? Well, I mean, back him off a little bit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how do you approach that? Like, do you run out to the pitcher and be like, okay, hey, I know your arm's getting tired. Let's have a little mound visit. Okay, this guy we can't stand, so let's throw a little chin music. Like, again, I want to say it's Bull Durham. I can't remember, but like a dude like hits him a few times and so he's like, okay, I'm throwing inside. Throw me the ball back as soon as you can so I can throw it at his head. Like, does those conversations really happen, or is that more movie talk?
Yeah, I'd say that's way more movie stuff. That's not real life right there. But no, I mean, when I played, I would call in a lot for effect, obviously, to try to move people off the plate, and the way I would do that, and this isn't trying to hit a guy. Obviously, I think the universal sign to hit a guy is just put your middle finger down, hit the guy. But no, we would, I'd call fastball in, and typically when I was going way in, I would just pat my leg a couple times to let them know, like, hey, get it in there. And then when I set up, I'd pretty much set up behind the guy's back foot. So if we hit him, we hit him, But the point there is, let's get the ball way inside, get it off the plate, let them know we're going to come in. So that's that. I did have one thing happen in college. I think we're playing against Georgia Tech. And I remember my pitcher wasn't feeling it that day, and he threw about 100. And he's like, dude, I don't have it today, and my stuff doesn't feel good, can't locate, whatever. So he was a little nervous about going out there on the mound with nothing practically that day. I said, well, one thing you could do, I said, you could throw the first pitch over the first batter's head and scare him to death. You throw 100, I said, you could try that, and that might help you out for the rest of the game. So that's what we did. For the first pitch went over that guy's head, and he ended up having a good game after that. But yeah.
Was his control better, or was it just the fear?
I don't remember that at all, but it was my whole idea was, let's put a little bit of fear into them, so if you don't have your A game, then they're a little bit afraid to step in the box at least.
Right.
Hey, if Smoltz can do it, he can do it too, right?
That's right.
We're not trying to hit the guy right there. We're just trying to let him know, like, hey, he's a little wild today,
Just Randy Johnson. I mean, that's
Dalton. You backing anybody off the plate? You throwing down that middle finger?
No, I'm not that type of. No, I've never threw down the middle finger.
You been anybody?
What finger do you use then, Dalton?
Anybody been in any brawls? Anything?
Yeah,
actually, I almost. You know me, how quiet I am, never say anything, but I almost caused a brawl in Lexington. I did.
Okay.
I need to hear. Listen. I got all night for this one.
So it was raining really, really bad in Florence, and they should have called the game really early. Like, we shouldn't have played at all. So everybody was just mad already. Everybody was pissed about it. And so I got up to hit, and it was pouring rain. I could barely see in front of me. So I swung, and the bat comes out of my hand and goes over their manager's head about this far. Literally just misses his head. So I go over to their dugout, and you know me, like, I'm really friendly. So I went over to them, and I said, hey, boys, you got any pine tar over here? Since I was already over there. And the staff said a couple choice words, that I'm not going to repeat what happened. But so when that happened, I looked at my man, Brandon and DeJesus, and I was like, hey, they just said this to me, So then they started chirping and screaming back over towards them. And
then you tucked your tail and ran back to the batter's box, right?
Oh, well, I ran back to the box. I didn't get a hit. And then after the inning, benches cleared. Benches did clear. I made sure to get behind the big guys. I was in the main back.
You can't damage that, the greatest smile in baseball, right?
See, I'd like to think I'd be up front in during the pile, but
So it was all over me asking for pine tar. That was pretty much what it was about.
Well, you're a terrible guy, Dalton. Man. What can I say?
Yeah, bad guy.
Benji, I heard you.
He said yes too.
Yeah, I heard a yes out of you as well.
Oh yeah, I've seen. So I was like I said, I was a pretty mild mannered guy. I was never a fight guy, brawl guy, but I was on teams when it happened a lot. And you watch TV, you see it happen in the big leagues, you see guys pulling people off. That was me. I was always the guy that was pulling everybody away, like, hey guys, come on.
You were the holder, okay.
Yeah, I was like, this is dumb, let's stop this, and pulling guys. So this one time in particular, the one that stands out, well, the first one I ever saw was in college. It was kind of crazy. We were playing against NC State, and one of our guys did like a half slide into home plate, didn't quite get down, and the catcher thought that he was trying to run him over. So that started a bench clearing episode, no fight. But no, the one that stands out, I was in indie ball, and I was playing in El Paso, Texas, playing for the Diablos, and that was a cool league. You know, we all kind of knew each other. It was kind of a small league, like 10 teams or something. So we all knew each other real well. But this big guy, big left-handed hitter, I think it was like a July 4th game or something like that. The game was out of hand. You know, it was like the score was like 20-22 final score. I think I played like the first 6 innings and already had like 5 at bats, something crazy like that. And we were up. They took me out of the game. We were up by like 10 runs. And then it ended up being like a 22-20 win on our end. But I'm down there in the bullpens, probably like the 8th inning or something like that. And the other guy that went in to catch, when I came out, he's actually a North Carolina guy too. We grew up, I think he was about 2 hours from where I grew up. We knew each other from high school baseball and stuff. So he goes in there to catch. This big lefty comes up to hit. He was either a tight end or a defensive tackle on the practice squad for the Texans. Okay. So this is a big guy. Yeah. Okay. He's about 6'4", 6'5", 240, 250. Big dude. Just the nicest dude. Like, he's like a teddy bear. You know, every time I get on first base, he's talking to me, just nice as he could be. And he comes up to the plate, and I don't know what had happened the inning before. Somebody got hit on our team. Something happened. Somebody got mad. They started popping off. So this inning comes, you know, he walks up to the plate. He looks at the catcher, and he says, they hit me. I'm coming after you. And the guy that was catching, he's about 5'10", maybe 200 pounds, 210 maybe, you know. Not a real big guy. But he had a big mouth, and he popped right back off to him, you know. And the guy hit him. So big lefty turns around and literally bear hugs my teammate and body slams him to the ground, falls right on his chest. We thought he broke his dang sternum. So obviously that started the brawl right there. You know, bench is cleared and people were just going crazy. And I'm out there in the bullpen. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I come running way out onto the field, you know, telling guys, all right, let's not fight, you know, pulling guys off. But yeah, that was probably the worst one that I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to ask this, since you did talk about running from the bullpen all the way out, probably center field, right field, whatever, by the time you get the home plate. Like,
so far.
Me, I'm not even going to run to the refrigerator. I'm lying. That's probably where I do run to. But, like, by the time you're mad and you're running out there, like, by the time you get there, you're like, okay, I'm tired. Like, I don't even want to push anyone. Let's just go on back here. Out of breath. Okay.
So, 10 guards on. I ran 250 feet to get there, and I'm like, good gosh. You know?
So, like, a lot of it's just to support your team then, right? Like, nobody's really running that far to go get in a fight, right?
The bullpen guys never do nothing. You look at all the MLB fights, bullpen guys are, like you said, Benji, they're there to hug people and get them off each other.
Right.
Well, you got some guys in the bullpen that might want to throw a few. Never know.
You know, that's true, because I do go back. The one brawl that I always remember, obviously not me, but Yankees and Tigers. I don't know what happened in the game. You know, a few people were hit, but I remember Austin Romine and Miguel Cabrera going at it. And then, you know, listen, all I'm saying is, and it's not because I'm a Yankee fan, that's the one team I'm not fighting. Like, back in the day, they had CC, Stanton, Judge, Betanzas. Like, they were all some, like, tight ends. I'm not fighting them. No, I'm good on that one. But, you know.
Some big guys.
Since Judge was mentioned, let me ask you this real quick.
Here we go.
My guy here, he thinks that Judge is top 5 in the MLB.
I said when he's healthy, by the way.
I mean, he can be healthy and all you want, pitchers included. Do you think he's top 5 in the MLB?
Oh, you're talking about pitchers included?
Yes.
I didn't say pitchers were included.
Now,
as far as hitter, I mean, I think he's one of the top 5 hitters when he's healthy. Yeah, but
hitters, but all around.
He's a great
fielder. If I had to choose 5 players,
well, you do.
Yeah, he wouldn't be in that 5. Yeah.
Thank you.
He's really good. Yeah, he's really good. I think he's really, really good. But I don't think he would be, top 5 in the whole MLB though.
It's fine.
Thank you. You are a smart man.
I can't
Thank you
wait
so
for
much.
him to
I
win
appreciate
MVP
that.
this year. Oh, it's gonna be glorious.
See what I got to deal with here.
Michael, I got to deal with you talking about the Reds. So
I mean, at least my team's not that good when I talk about them, and I mean, it's okay. It's not annoying, but when people talk about Yankees, it's depressing. Like, who cares?
no. You see, you got it all wrong. We're exciting. We're noticeable every year. You guys have a good year once every 16 and think that
And we appreciate it.
I appreciate us winning.
them. Speaking of appreciation, I'll have to say I appreciate the Braves this year. I think they're actually going to make a run for the NL. Since that's one of your teams, what do you think about them this year?
I don't know a whole lot this year. Do they have the same guys they had last year? If they're pretty much the same team that they were last year, I think they're going to do really well.
I don't think they've lost anyone. They added a good pitcher. I think it was for the Rays.
They still got
Snell.
Freddie,
no, Morton.
Ozuna.
I thought
and
Morton.
Albie
It is Morton. Yeah.
and Acuna. They're going to be they're going to be good. Yeah.
I think they re-signed Adam Duvall as well.
now, since you're involved in baseball so much, you played it. Is baseball fatigue a thing? Like, do you just not want to watch it sometimes?
Well, I was like that growing up. My dad made me my first love was basketball.
Hey, there we go.
I mean, I
What
grew
position?
up 15 minutes from the University of North Carolina, and
Oh,
Michael Jordan went there. So, being that close, my parents were Carolina fans. Duke's right down the road. Wake Forest, NC State, they're all right there. So it's such a big basketball mecca, really, where I grew up for college basketball. That I loved basketball first, and that's what I always wanted to be doing. But my dad was the one that really encouraged baseball. So he would kind of make me watch games, and I'm like, this is so boring, So I got burned out as a kid watching so much baseball because that's all he wanted to watch. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think and that's anything you do, if all you do is one thing all the time, then yeah, you definitely will get a little burned out from it.
So I need to know some basketball stuff now. What position would you want to have played?
I would have. Well, I'm 6'2", so I probably would have had to play point guard, but I would if I could choose my body size, shooting guard or small forward, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you
we going
still
long
play
range here? You
What's
shooter
that?
out here?
What's that?
You a shooter?
Well, that's all I'm good at. Shooting. I can't dribble real well. I never played, so I just play in the backyard, play half court. I had a half court in my backyard, so I'd shoot. So that's the only thing I could do is shoot.
Okay.
All right.
Dalton, what about you? I don't think we've ever asked you that. What would you play?
I was a point guard. I signed in college to play.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, I signed in college to play basketball too.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So
Bo Jackson.
So you do play?
I don't. I decided not to play, but I did sign.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Connie, his dad's
Cool.
the basketball coach. I mean, that's all.
That was before he was the coach. That was before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's
No, that's really
unbelievable.
cool.
He's getting everything handed to him. I just can't do
I
it
know.
anymore, Michael.
My goodness. Get that daddy's boy chant going on for him.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! I can't wait to come to one of these games one of these days. That's what I'm chanting, Daddy's boy
Oh gosh.
or Golden Child. Oh, Golden Child. That's what I'll go with. Maybe. I need you to give me some passes.
I like how you ease that in there. Like when I go to a game, I won't do that.
Yeah, listen.
I need some of those free
I'll
tickets
just sit
for you,
right next to
man.
the dugout, and when Dalton goes up, I'll be like, "Listen, Golden Boy, I'm gonna need a hit here."
Hey, our first
Okay.
game is in New York. Actually,
No, it's not. Don't lie to me.
I promise.
Is it?
Where at?
Do you know where? Because if it's at the place I'm thinking, it's right next to me.
Long Island.
Never mind.
Is this
But-
with the Legends?
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say Dutchess Stadium because that's like 40 minutes from me, but Long Island, that's a nice 3-hour, 4-hour
Dalton,
expedition.
Is that in the Atlantic League, the Legends?
It is. Yes.
Are you aware of that team down in Gastonia?
Yes, that's a new team. Yeah.
So a buddy of mine just signed there.
Who's that?
I think this guy I told you about that was an infielder that just converted catcher recently, like the last
Okay.
couple of years. Yeah. So he just signed. So I guess you'll play against him.
Yeah, they just built a new field. It's nice, really nice. Their
Nice.
field,
Awesome.
yeah.
Gastonia is a tough place to play baseball. I played in the Coastal Plains League there my freshman year of college, and it's hot. It is really, really hot.
I've never even heard of this place.
Where is that? Is that
North
North
Carolina? It's
Carolina?
near Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah. It's hot.
Is it a pretty nice place, though? Pretty nice place?
I don't remember. We played in an old Legion field. So I haven't seen the new field at all.
Okay.
Dalton just hopes that they sell the chicken wings or chicken
Yeah,
tenders.
so he can go make some little kid go buy him wings.
They definitely have
Yeah.
Benji, can you believe that this guy literally told us every game in Lexington that he would have a kid go and buy him chicken wings or chicken tenders during the game?
That's
Do
terrible.
you have any kind of crazy story like that? Like, is there a
What's your
Because, baseball?
There we go. No. Yes, what's your superstition?
So-
Everybody's got one.
So my favorite, I'll say, dumb thing that I did was it was in college. I didn't do too much dumb stuff in pro ball because I was more focused. I don't know, but in college, I remember I was in the bullpen one day. We were playing Davidson, Davidson University, and midweek game, and we had these drinks called Boost. You know what Boost energy drinks are?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Really? You
Ensure. You heard of like Ensure?
Mhm.
No, like the old
Oh wait, no, I lied. I lied.
Yeah.
Ensure. So it's like a meal replacement or something like that. But yeah, the Boost energy drink, that's what we had for like a after workout shake basically. And we had this little refrigerator in our locker room, and they tasted really good. They're chocolate. I drank 7 of them one game. I think I had one an inning, and then coach had me pinch hit in the 7th inning. I hit 2 home runs that game.
Oh,
There you go.
So I attribute it to 7 boosts. Well, I think like the next day, either the next day or like the next week, our strength coach put a padlock on the Boost refrigerator because we were drinking. So me and the bullpen probably drank 25 of them that game.
Oh my word!
Yeah, we're just
another funny story with me. So the game I hit the home runs in our conference tournament. We were at a gas station, and a Mayfield ice cream truck pulled up, and he gave us free ice creams. And I ate 4 ice creams before that game. 4 ice creams, and then hit those home runs. That 4-run game after that.
Ain't it crazy how baseball players remember these little things like, oh, this is
Michael.
what I did different?
No, Michael. You know what's really
Totally
crazy? Isn't it crazy that just eating 4 ice creams is just something normal for us fat people? And they're
Yeah, I
out
was
here
like, Dalton here goes, I had 4 ice creams. 4. I was like, that was my snack yesterday.
I was gonna say, that's an everyday meal. I got ice cream sandwiches downstairs I could go snack on right
I
now.
do that every time I go to my parents' house. It kills me because my mom, they're up in age now. They're up in their 70s now, and so they're grandparents. So when you go to their house, they got food galore. Right?
Oh,
So my mom, what she does now is every time I go, probably like 6 months ago, she had those little, what they call drumsticks. You know what I'm talking about?
the little ice cream ones.
She had them like a few months ago, and I ate a couple of them, and she noticed. So now every single time I go back to their house, she has a fresh box in the fridge. And I'm like, dadgummit. And I end up eating like 2 of them every night, and I gain 5 to 10 pounds every time I go to their house now. I'm like, gosh darn it, But yeah, that's what she does. Yeah,
That's Southern women right there. Let me tell you.
yep. They give you all the food you want, right? That's what my mom does. So
Listen, I've never left my nan's house hungry one time in my life, so
That's right.
I completely understand.
I know this is crazy. My grandpa, when he was alive, he'd always drink the V8s in the glass bottles. Well, my granny knew that I loved water, and she would actually, every one that he would drink, she would fill back up with water, put in the refrigerator for me, and have a bag of sour cream and onion chips for me every time I went there. So
yep,
that's
their way of showing you they love you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Michael. I got nothing else for our lovely guests.
Great conversations. Loved it. Benji, thank you again so much. Do you want to take this time, kind of do any kind of plugs? How they can follow you?
Yeah. Instagram, Benji Johnson Catching. Twitter's Benji J Catching. Everything else? Facebook, Benji Johnson Catching. and then BenjiJohnsonCatching.com. Yeah, it's all the
Pretty
UHC
simple
stuff.
There we go. But again, thank you so much for coming on here. Wonderful time. Loved just talking with you. I was actually texting Dalton here. You just seem like a really cool guy. Thank you so much again. I can't say it enough. We would love to have you back on here sometime. Would you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's
Awesome.
good. It's fun. Yeah.
Good. But Dalton, you want to say anything? We know that you just got you a shirt coming out. You want to kind of do any kind of plugs there with your great DC
Dalton,
badge
before
and
you do a
everything?
plug, let me just say, I know you're going to talk about your nice little DC3 bats. I'm just saying, things happen sometimes. Sometimes, they mess up the polish or, the color doesn't look just right. If, you ever got to throw away a bat or something, just throw it away into a mailbox. And if it so happenly lands at my front porch, if it comes all the way to New York and it lands on my front, garage, I'm not going to be mad.
Hey, don't worry about it. I'm actually working on the bat mugs that Michael he asked me about. So I'll send you one of those over.
Ooh, I didn't even know about these. I didn't even know about any of this.
Yeah.
Well, see, Dalton, here's the thing. You talk to Michael all the time, and Michael never translates anything to me. He keeps everything for himself. So, you could tell him that you wanted to donate $1,000 to me, and Michael would say, yeah, I'll make sure he gets it, and then put it in his pocket.
No, I wouldn't do that. But it is quite comical because my wife all the time, she'd be like, who are you texting? What are you doing over there? I'm like, I'm talking to my best friend Dalton. She's like, y'all are really best friends. Let me tell you. And
then he starts like blushing and giggles like a little girl and all that. It's so cute.
A D3 boy.
I want to mention Benji. I just got in the mail. Benji sent me some sample pine tar.
Don't start any more brawls, Dalton.
Benji makes his own pine tar.
Nice.
Have you tried it yet?
I haven't got to try it yet. I ain't been out, but I have it right here with me. So I'm excited to try it. And
where's it at? We want to see it.
Want to see it? All right.
That's a little miniature sample.
Now, how does one make pine tar?
You get about 15 little samples sitting on my table right here, right in front of me. Let's see. Ooh. This is all my textures right here.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. How do you make pine tar? I mean,
it's just pine, Michael.
Pine and tar, but
that's a secret.
It's a secret.
You know what? You're right. Can't give up no recipes out here. That's like asking grandma for the cookie recipe.
That has been the hardest thing that I have learned to make. I make a lot of stuff. I'll show you. I got some right here. I make soap. So here's soap.
Oh.
I make candles. Here's a candle. So
okay.
I make all kinds of stuff, right? But that right there is the hardest thing that I have ever tried to make by far.
Okay. Do you sell your soap and candles?
Yeah, so I've sold some stuff. So I started with one soap business, and then I'm gonna make a different brand. So what I'm thinking about doing this year is more of a male geared brand instead of just like an overarching skincare brand. Because when I started, I was kind of all over the place with it. And I think my niche is going to be more, male.
Manly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael, you won't be able to use it.
The candle stuff is that actually came about last year. And I named it after my niece. It's her middle name is the name of the company brand or the brand of the candle. And I haven't started, selling that brand yet, but I will at some point, hopefully this year.
Nice.
Not bad.
I mean, if you look for like a name for a certain soap that you're going to make for men, like Backstop Banter soap, that'd be kind of cool.
I thought you were going to plug your own name. I'm not going to lie. I was going to say nobody's tying to Michael.
Well, that just sounds creepy.
Exactly. That's why I said no one would buy it. We're trying to make Benji a millionaire over here.
I wonder, could you put a little pine tar into the soap and make it baseball?
There's such a thing as pine tar soap. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen, you need to. That's the Backstop Banter soap.
I'm gonna make some pine tar soap at some point, but yeah, there's recipes out there for it.
Nice, a baseball theme soap.
I was expecting you to call Michael stupid because I would have thought the pine tar would have made it sticky and not usable. But you know what?
I thought the same thing when somebody first told me, "Hey, you should make some pine tar soap." I said, "Pine tar soap? What in the world? Is that real?" They're like, "Yeah, people actually make that." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let me look into that."
I wonder if you could put some Rosalind in it as well, so that it would be like exfoliating your. It could.
Yeah,
You never
you know,
know.
Benji, why don't you just dump some
Sticky
sand in?
exfoliation.
Well, just bring out the whole baseball field, maybe a grass shard.
That's what. Ooh.
Just bring out the whole. Just call it the field.
I call it
There you go.
Bermuda. You can put some Bermuda grass in there, right?
There you
Oh,
go.
That's right. There we go. I work at Tractor Supply, so I sell that grass. Let me know if you need any, because I can get you a discount. Get you my 15% off if you want.
So here's a little probably unknown fact. If you're not in the candle world, there is a nationwide and possibly a worldwide wax shortage right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the pandemic. I ordered wax for my candles on February 14th or something like that, or February 25th. It just shipped yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Wax shortage. Never would have thought, right?
Yeah.
No, out of all the things, that was definitely not one of them.
Men, if you're watching this and your ladies are a little bit hairy on the legs, it's because there's a wax shortage. We're sorry. Just live with it.
You know what? You're right. You're right. Dalton, you got anything to plug?
Let's get back to some here.
No, I'm good. I've said everything I need to say.
All right,
All
Michael.
right.
Now here's the real question: are we ended it here, or are we doing our final two teams?
I mean, we do need to get that done because we got the panel next week.
All right, so we'll end it. Well, we'll not end it. We'll end this discussion. We'll go on to our last two teams. So Benji, Dalton, I appreciate you guys stopping by for sure.
Do you all want to talk?
I was going to
us about
say,
our last
unless
two
you want to
teams?
stay on, we're
got
doing
nothing going
twins
on.
and we're doing twins and who?
Twins and Tigers.
Tigers, yeah.
So what
Now-
are y'all talking about? I might not be any help, but I can hang out.
Well, to be honest with you, I literally walked in the door, kissed my kids goodnight, and came straight in here from work. As you can see, I'm still in my purple polo, so I've not been able to prepare too much. But we did talk about the Cardinals a little bit and the Reds, and now we're just kind of going to go in a little depth of as what we expect from the Tigers next year and the Twins as well. I say we go ahead.
I got a Twins question.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Aaron Sabato. He's a UNC guy. Know anything about him?
I cannot say I do.
And I think he's in New York. I think he's from New York. But yeah, he was their first round pick last year from the University of North Carolina, first baseman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know
He's
what?
a
It's
guy-
a good thing that you mentioned first round picks because I think that's what the Tigers are this year anyway. I think it's, rebuilding time. They don't, they got Miggy still there. He's kind of on his last toes, I say. I wouldn't even say last legs. He's very, very near to the end. So I think this is just a rebuild year for them anyway. The pitching staff isn't good. The lineup really isn't there anyway. I think this is just a rebuild for them. Michael, I don't know if you think anything different, but
Again, like I said, I was a little rushed today. I know the Tigers are struggling as far as what they even were last year. So, yeah, I would 100% agree with you. I think they're going to be more playing the prospects and trying to just get them to come up and see what they can be for next year as well. But I'm anxious to know more about the Twins from you, Benji. You got any more details on that player?
Well, yeah, just a little nothing on the pro side of it, but he did just get his first hit. I saw, I think a few days ago in spring training. But I watched him play at Carolina. He was drafted after his sophomore year, so I got to see him play the full season in 2019, and then a partial season last year in 2020 before they got cut short. But I think he had the top exit velocities on his team at Carolina. Pretty much every ball he hit was 100 miles an hour. He just absolutely demolishes baseballs. I don't know how many home runs he hit as a freshman, but I'm pretty sure he set the record for freshman at Carolina with I think it was more than 15 as a freshman. So he hits baseballs really hard and really far. So it'd be interesting to see what happens professionally with him.
Now, I got one more question for both of you then, actually, now that I think about it, because you mentioned that first hit thing. Is getting the first hit out of the season, is that a real thing? Does that really, relax you? Or is that just, something that announcers say to fill busy time?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a case by case for me. Only if I was, if I went over, 6, 7, or 8, then yeah.
Same.
Get that monkey off your back kind of thing. Dang, I've played, 2 games. I don't have a hit yet. I'm over 8. But I don't think everybody feels that. I kind of felt that way. I felt like I was going to lose my job if I didn't start hitting the ball. So I think some guys feel that. I think some guys don't. Yeah. Dalton, what do you think about that?
I'm the same way, which I have really bad like anxiety, like performance anxiety. So getting the first hit out of the way is like, I really need to just see that first one fall, and then I'm good from there.
I was even like that sometimes in a game. If I got to hit my first at bat, I felt good.
Yeah.
And if
Same.
if I didn't get hit my first at bat, there were times that I didn't feel as good. I was kind of, I would say, a head case a little bit as a player.
Benji, what was your best game? You got a little 5-for-5 3 home run action, or?
I've hit 2 home runs. I think the most I ever hit was 2 home runs in a game. My best game that I can remember from college was 3-for-3 with 2 homers, and then that was 3-for-3 with 1 homer. I hit a couple 2-homer games in college, and then pro ball, just a couple 4-for-4 games with a homer. Nothing crazy. Yeah,
nothing crazy, just 4-for-4
Nothing
home
crazy.
runs.
I don't think I ever had a multi-home run game in pro ball. Maybe I did once, but I didn't hit like I wanted to in pro ball. That's for sure.
Question for both of you on this: what's more astonishing, 4-for-4 4 home runs, or 4-for-4 with the cycle?
Cycle.
Dalton's swinging for fences here.
I'm totally with you. I think the cycle is so much more gratifying to get. I think if you just hit dingers, that's not really proving anything. Anyone can make contact and just send it out.
It's definitely proven something, but that triple is really hard to get.
Yeah, the triple to me is like the lost art of baseball right now. Like it is an anomaly to get that. So that's why I feel like that is bigger to get. Dalton obviously over there.
I think the cycle is easier to do than 4 home runs.
You're lying here. How many triples have you gotten in your career?
Well, he might be right.
I've hit for the cycle a couple times in college.
I wonder if there's got to be a stat somewhere in Major League Baseball that tells us how many 4 home run games there have been and how many cycles have been hit.
You know what? Well, if you guys want to keep talking, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the one that's the crazy, probably the hardest would be the home run cycle.
Oh, that's impossible.
2-run, 3-run, and a grand slam.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
It's definitely happened. I've heard about it happening, but I don't remember when or where that happened. It was a couple years ago.
All right, so there has been 330 cycles in the MLB. Believe it or not, the natural cycle is the rarest thing in baseball, though, where you do everything in order. That's only happened 14 times.
Oh, wow.
But now let me look up this home run one.
So it was how many cycles? 300 and what?
330.
30.
All right.
I hope it's like
so much pressure on me, I feel.
Come on, man. Dalton, I'm going to ask you this because you're the cocky one, I can tell. If you hit the 4th home run, are you throwing the bat?
I did throw the bat. Yes, I did. I mean,
it's okay.
I didn't get to do too much celebratory stuff because when I grew up, my first home run ever as a kid, my dad said, "Act like you've done it before."
Same way.
I've never done it before.
No. But I haven't. I don't know how I'm supposed to act.
Yeah.
See, this says there are currently 18 players in the major league who have hit 4 home runs in a single game. So that's pretty rare too.
But 18 in today's game?
That's current players, though. So what about all?
Oh yeah, you're right.
If there's 18 current players,
gosh,
yeah.
See,
there's got to be a lot.
4 home runs in one game. Let's see. Come on, give me an actual number here. You know what? I don't know. I can't find an actual number. Everything is like in like weird games and stuff. But then again, this is putting everybody out there, and it says that there's been 6 in the AL and then 12 in the NL. And this is going all the way back. I mean, the first person on this list is Lou Gehrig for the AL, and then For the NL, it's Bobby Lowe back in 1894.
So is that all time then? 18?
I think it might be. Because because it also has like the people who are active. It has the active person next to their name, so it might really only be 18.
Wow.
I think actually Derek Dietrich's done it, didn't he?
Oh yeah, look at him. Oh wait, no, I lied.
No, thought he did.
No, this one's Scooter Jeanette.
Scooter did. Yeah, that's right. Scooter did.
Yeah, so I think I found what you're looking at. Maybe it's baseballalmanac.com.
That it is.
Yeah, so 6 American League and 12 National League players. Wow, that's crazy. I never really thought that.
I honestly, I'm not going to lie. I absolutely would have thought it's more than that, especially in today's MLB.
Wow.
Oh, Scooter.
You know who I'm surprised isn't on that list, and I'm not even
Aaron Judge.
No.
Aaron Judge, top 5 in the world, baby. Sorry. Go ahead. Who?
I'm like, well, I will come across this screen and fight you right now. But anyway, and I'm not even saying this to try to like sneak the Twins in here real quick. I'm genuinely surprised Nelson Cruz has never done that. Because
I see him hitting 4 in a game. But I actually, to your point, Aaron Judge, I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet.
I think he gets it.
I think he'll be on that list. I really do.
I think I'm surprised Stanton hasn't.
Dude,
Josh Hamilton's on that
mammoth
list.
of a human being, and he hits the baseball so far with ease. I could see him getting 4 home runs in a game.
My favorite, and Michael's going to yell at me again, which I don't really care about Michael, so it's fine. My favorite home run derby was that Aaron Judge one.
Absolutely, I agree.
So effortless.
Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, the Josh.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Okay, Josh Hamilton. That one was awesome. That was historic.
See, I was also like 9 years old, so I wouldn't really understand how amazing it was.
It was at the Yankee Stadium.
No,
too,
I know.
man.
I watched it. I'm just saying I don't like it doesn't fully comprehend how amazing it was. But the Judge one, he was hitting bombs like 520, and it looked like he wasn't even swinging.
Then the Griffey one too.
That was my favorite since the Hamilton one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
The one the year before with Vlad.
Yeah, it was pretty good too.
The best one since then has been the I just lost his name. Center Todd
Frazier.
Frazier
was a red and he won.
Him and Robbie Cano.
It was competitive.
Was good too.
Yeah, Cano's swing is just.
Oh, it is.
All right, I have a hot take. I have a hot take, and this is going to upset Michael as well.
God,
I love upsetting Michael.
Yankee.
I genuinely think Cano's swing is the prettiest in MLB history, even over Griffey.
No.
Cano's swing is legitimately.
I would say second.
It's up there.
I cry at that. I used to imitate Cano.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Every child imitates one person, and it's Griffey. Shaking that bat.
I don't know. I used to imitate Jeter a lot too, even on the lefty.
Actually, I used to imitate Jeff Bagwell a lot.
Ooh, there we go.
That little squat that he did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I did that as a kid. Yeah.
The one I used to imitate was Sean Casey. I love Sean Casey. I don't know if you all know who that is. Yeah. But
he hit baseballs really far.
He would step out of the batter's box, fix both gloves, fix his hat, step in left foot because he batted left-handed, like a horse step basically. Dig out a spot, then he bring in his right, hit the base, and then do a little couple swings. But every time, like be a wild pitch. Like
most annoying person to ever watch is Nomar Garcia-Parra.
I think Craig Counsell was terrible to watch.
No, because Nomar would come out every single time. No. Oh, you want to talk about ugly batting stances? Kevin Youkilis.
Yes.
Yeah. I read an article that he wasn't even aware that it started and then it kind of grew.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember reading that.
He wasn't even aware that it was happening. Yeah.
There's some interesting swings in baseball. The good old Gary Sheffield. Oh, I loved that one too.
Yeah.
That was
big
fan.
fan.
That was a good one too.
In high school.
I did. I of course had to do the A-Rod a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was typical, but he was hitting bombs for me, so it was fun. But Cano, I don't care. I'm taking it over Griffey. So
Eric
smooth.
Davis action. Eric Davis.
There we go. There we go.
I remember
I
Eric
don't
Davis.
know.
He was
Sabo
with the
even.
Reds. He was with the Reds,
Yes.
right? Eric Davis.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
In the
Hey,
90s, Connie, you wouldn't even have thought.
No, I
Is
wasn't.
Eric Davis, did he have some type of disease? Did he get cancer when he was a player and then overcame it? Or am I thinking about a different
you have-
player?
He did
Johnny
get-
Bench.
Yeah.
Johnny Bench had something on his lung that he actually had removed. They thought might be cancerous. That might be who you're thinking of.
Maybe. Yeah.
Eric
Actually,
Davis got sick too.
I got
Did
to
he?
meet Johnny Bench
He did.
in 2010. That's pretty cool.
Tell me more, please.
So we're in Wichita. So he threw out the first pitch in Wichita. And I don't know if he lived there. This is in 2010. But the one thing I remember was his hands are absolutely massive and his arms are really, really long. Those are the things that really jumped out to me.
I think, can he hold 7 or 9 baseballs in his
I
hand?
think it's 9. I think it's
Seven.
9.
I think
thought
it's
it was
9.
That's
It might be
I
7,
don't.
but it
I
was-
think I could hold 2, maybe.
How about
A lot.
8? Let's go with that. But yeah, I actually was watching a documentary on YouTube about Johnny Bench actually 3 days ago. Go check it out. It's really cool. Like he is just straight up 100% living the dad life now. Like he's got 2 kids that he lives. He's a single parent with this situation. And it's just basically going through that and how like, yeah, I'm Johnny Bench, but I'd rather be a dad right now. It was really cool. But then it was reminiscing all of the stuff that he did. Like, man, this dude was, I knew he was good, but my goodness, what he did was great.
He changed the position, the catching position.
I didn't know and that he was the one that took it to a one hand where you put your hand behind your back. He said, I broke 2 fingers catching it that way. And he said, I finally said, forget this. I'm just going to catch one-handed.
Yeah. So
yeah,
can you believe
Johnny
it took
Bench
that?
changed
Can you believe it took that long though for a guy to be like,
Oh,
what
my
the world am
goodness.
I doing? You know?
Because I think he played in 74, 73, somewhere around there. Because I know he was part of the team that won it in 75, the green or the big red machine. About said the green machine. So,
You
yeah.
remember a guy named Herb? I can't remember his last name, but Herb played with the Reds. Played with there when Pete Rose was there. I think he played with Bench too. Outfielder
Herb.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Michael's got to check his roster. His
Does anybody remember Thurman Munson?
don't
Yes.
you get me started.
Yes.
Thurman Munson should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. It's
Do you know
disgusting.
how he died?
I'm a Yankee fan. Of course I know.
Okay.
And then of course the first game back, they had just gotten off the plane to his funeral, and his best friend, I want to say it was Greg Nettles.
Greg Nettles, yes.
Yes, sir. Got the game-winning hit, and Billy Martin didn't even want to play him that day because he was, so broken up about it, and he ended up. I think he went like 4 for 4 or 3 for 3, and ended up getting the game-winning hit. I know my Yankee history, Dalton.
Yeah, I'm not finding the Herb guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Let's see.
Well, I don't know why the name that I always think about when I think of catchers is Pudge.
Fudge.
He was my favorite growing up.
I don't know why. I always used to draft him in MLB. Like with the video games, I always drafted him. And by the time I was playing games like that, he was already old, so there was no point in drafting because he would retire after like 2 years, but had to every single time. Gosh, the old days.
The old days.
Still miss my man Jeter playing.
I'm not going to find Herb, but Herb's
Herbert
cool guy.
Victor.
Huh?
Herbert Victor Jewell.
No.
Juul.
No, that's not him. But Herb, I met him at I go to this softball event every year in South Carolina. It's the South Carolina Youth Diabetes Association. So they're raising money for childhood diabetes down there. And he goes to that event. He's from South Carolina, so he goes to that event every year. And that's where I met him. He's a really cool guy to talk to. He'll talk your ear off. And, he's got so many stories from playing with the Reds back with Pete Rose and all those guys. Really cool guy, though. I wish I could find his last name so I could tell you who he was, but I don't see it.
Gosh, stories some of these old players must have had. Like Yogi Berra.
Oh, yeah.
Yankee Old Timers Day. Do the Reds do Old Timers Day?
You're going to have to tell me what Old Timers Day is.
So that means they don't do it.
I'm
But-
assuming not.
Like, so the Yankees do Old Timers Day every year where like all their, old retired players like come back and they like honor them and they have like a little scrimmage game. It's fun, and they do it like before an afternoon game usually. So, for the longest time, Yogi and oh my God, Whitey Ford used to come back all the time. And, just like, players that retire and, they come back and they have a little exhibition game. David Cohn plays in it. Paul O'Neill and, just guys like that, Ricky Henderson. So it's fun. I think all teams should do it.
His name was Herm, not Herb. Herm
Winningham. Oh, okay.
He was there at least in 1990. In 1990, that's where I found out. I think he's there for like 6 years. Yes,
Okay.
He played with Paul O'Neill, Barry Larkin, Eric Davis. Yeah, Ken Griffey.
Paul O'Neill got one of the best plays
Senior.
in MLB history where he kicked the ball in from right field.
Oh yeah, I actually asked him about that story last year at the event. He told me about it. Yeah.
What a
That
play.
was actually a nice play. Actually, we shared that in the chat the other day, didn't we? Yes.
Did you guys? I had this. My dad bought me this like blooper / highlight VHS when I was a kid, and that was one of the plays that was on there. It was
Really?
Yeah, Mel Allen was like the announcer or something, and then you got Paul O'Neill out there in left field kicking the ball in home plate.
It was a perfect pass, too. It really was. It was on the money.
It was like he was playing soccer out there.
Connie, do you know what VHS is?
I know what it is. Did I experience it? No.
Okay. What about you, Dalton? Do you know what VHS
How
is?
about a cassette tape?
I do.
Cassette.
I never had a cassette tape in my life, but
Are you serious?
my grandparents and parents had
Okay.
it, so they would
Well,
play
I mean,
them.
yeah.
I know what they are. You guys act like I don't know my history, Michael.
I used to have a Garth Brooks tape. It was the best. My goodness.
Was it about drinking a beer, driving a truck down a country road?
I was about a river.
Listen here. There you go.
There you go.
Most underrated song ever.
I love that song. Yeah.
It's great. It really is.
Thunder Rolls. What else he got? A lot of good hits.
Long Neck Bottle. My
There you
favorite's
go.
Unanswered Prayers.
Yeah. Friends in Low Places.
Well, I mean, that's a given one. Everyone can name that one.
I couldn't have. I'll tell you that.
The best
either.
video ever. Oh, what is that one?
Dawn, do you listen to country music?
I do
Red
not.
Strokes. I mean, that's a good
Really?
video
All right,
too.
see, that makes me so happy. I feel
Have
like
you ever
every
watched the
country
video of
person
Red
listens
Strokes?
to country
Connie, hush.
music.
Connie,
No,
hush.
listen,
I'm gonna
Michael, you
touch you.
calm
Well,
down
hold on
there,
now.
okay?
We're talking Garth Brooks, okay? The
Me and
greatest
Dawn are
country
trying to
singer
talk real
ever.
music over here.
Connie, if you're into video stuff now, like you're in this whole media stuff, you need to check out Red Strokes. He was ahead of his time in his video, man. It was
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
great.
What is that?
All
It
the
probably
decked
was
out in
like,
the
it was probably a colored camera instead of black and white. Is that why he was ahead of his time, Michael?
Actually, it was both, I think, because he was in an all-white suit with a white piano, singing this song, and paint pouring down everywhere, changing the colors and everything. It was
So he
great.
wanted to be Prince.
I remember that.
He was better than Prince. He was the king.
Wow.
I'll say this.
I remember that.
When it comes to Garth Brooks, you either absolutely loved him or you absolutely hated him.
Or you absolutely didn't listen to a single thing like me.
I was more in the middle with Garth growing up because I loved guys like Clay Walker, Alan Jackson,
Hey, that's right there.
Tim McGraw. Garth was almost like a little too heavy for me, like hard, with his country when I was growing up. He had some good songs, but then he got like a little rocky almost.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all the like slow, kind of like real easy-going country music when I was growing up.
Gotcha.
Listen, I'm gonna end it
Living
on
on
this.
love. Listen, we're talking Alan Jackson now.
No. Michael, it's two hours, okay? We're hitting 2 hours right now.
We're getting into it now.
Listen,
Me and Benji, we're bonding.
I
We're about to
gotta-
go on a hunt together, okay?
Listen, there's 2 good country songs ever created, and these are what they are: Country Roads and Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel is really good.
Rocky Top.
I don't even know what that is.
I mean, Rocky Top's great. You don't know what
Now,
Rocky
who
Top is?
sings-
I don't listen to country
sings
music,
that?
Michael.
Now,
who sings
Wagon Wheel, yes, that really plays a big part in this.
What? Who sings it? It's Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Nope.
No.
Old Crow
What?
Medicine Show.
Old Crow Medicine Show. Oh my
Say
goodness.
what?
Did we just become best friends?
No.
In all seriousness, Connie, you need to listen to Old Crow Medicine Show Wagon Wheel
Yeah.
first.
That's
Darius
got a
actually
nice-
redid it.
Nice
Well,
sound to it.
Darius did it better, apparently.
He did a good
No.
job.
So
But Old
he
Crow.
did it
Old
justice,
Crow.
but it's not the best. Dalton,
All
do
right.
you even know Old Crow Medicine Show, man?
Yes,
Because it's pretty popular at Alice College. I'll let you know.
it is very popular. Yes.
November Blue, good song too.
I got to get a fellow city guy on the show so we can talk about like hip hop and all that, so I don't feel out of place.
Listen, we know you're in New York, but you need to learn this life because it's so
No.
much better. It's so much joyful. I mean,
I've
Us
never
three.
been filled with more joy, Michael. I just got my new Xbox today. You know,
Hey,
Exactly.
are you gonna get the Xbox refrigerator that I just saw The Rock do an ad for? You know what I'm talking
you
about?
know what? I might just have to. I might just have to.
I have
saw
not
that
seen
today.
this.
I was
Tell
like,
me
what in the
more.
world? Yeah, it was called Avos. I can't remember what it was called, but this ad I saw was a reel on Instagram. This girl opens a full size Xbox refrigerator, and then like Halo type music plays, and then she opens a smaller refrigerator, and there's like a energy drink in there. And I guess the small refrigerator is what they're marketing.
That's fantastic.
Pretty sure it's an Xbox fridge. Yeah.
Well,
Sounds
Michael,
good.
I know what I want for Christmas because you
Uh-huh.
know we'll do a baseball unwrapped Secret Santa. So I'm gonna make sure that you get me the Xbox fridge.
Okay, because I mean, I do have 15,000 kids, so with all these stimulus checks I'm getting, like I could probably buy it. Let me just
You
tell
know,
you.
by the way, still haven't gotten my stimmy, so
Oh, man.
I'm gonna need that to hit the bank account real soon.
Listen, Daddy's about ready to go out and claim another child after that stimmy hit. Let me tell you, it was nice.
Especially after spending. Well, you see, here's the thing, right? I accidentally bought 2 Xboxes today. So
So what I'm hearing is we're giving one away.
no.
No.
Listen. My parents might take care of my expenses, but I still don't got
Oh,
that
your
much money.
parents bought you the Xbox.
No, I bought it. I'm
That's
just saying
what
I
I'm
don't have
hearing.
like bills and all that. You know, I live at home,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
I don't got-
Mom
I
bought
don't
the
got-
Xbox.
I don't got
And
Xbox.
bought the second.
No. I don't got Xbox giveaway money. Not yet, at least. Maybe when ESPN or the Yankees want to hand me out a job, we can start doing something like that. But until then, let's calm down there, Michael.
Okay.
We'll
So
stick to
listen-
sending Benji some Backstop Banter gear.
There we go. Which we want to do, by the way. We want you to have some gear for us.
Sweet.
You don't have to buy it. We'll send it to you. Trust me. Nan's paying all the bills here.
Now this.
Let's see here. I mean, we were going to end this show like probably an hour ago, but then we got talking about Garth and Alan Jackson.
Well,
living
we'll
on
end
love.
it now because let me tell you, it's 2 hours. It's 12 o'clock. Your boy has work tomorrow. So
What time's your work tomorrow?
listen, that's not important because I like
Exactly.
to sleep in. I like to sleep.
Exactly.
Then again, I'll probably be up until 3 a.m. anyway. But things
But
happen.
there's no. We don't have WandaVision tonight. What are we supposed
We
to do?
have
tonight?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, is that okay? I hadn't heard about that one.
That's dropping tonight,
Check it
3
out.
a.m. people. So if you want to
Yeah,
stay
I'm not
up,
doing that. Well, again, Dalton and Benji, thank you all so much for coming on here. Anytime y'all want to come on here and just ramble with us, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much for taking just the time to be a part of our show. I will probably get with you later or try to holler at Dalton to get an address where we can send you some awesome gear. I actually got a mask event to wear, but I forgot it downstairs because I didn't have a chance to grab it. But guys, every Thursday, actually next week, on Thursday, we're going to try to start a little bit earlier. I think we're going to go about 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to do a kickstart for the year and do a big panel. We're hoping we'll get like about 6 or 7 different guys with Unwrapped Sports Network in here and we just talk about everything baseball as the season is underway. Definitely think check out MLB.com. They have a $200,000 giveaway if you can guess every answer of the opening day team wins. I just
Easy.
filled mine out. I did not pick the Yankees. I picked whoever they're playing. Didn't even pay attention.
Imagine picking against Garrett Cole. Could never be me.
It was horrible. It was so easy to do. Real quick, Benji, who's winning World Series this year?
Oh,
And you don't have to say the rest.
Braves.
There we okay.
It's
They're my
fair.
dark horse. Dalton. Don't say
Mm,
Dodgers. I'll say Dodgers.
Just say the Yankees.
I was gonna say the Dodgers. Yeah. I'm going with the Dodgers.
That's the weird way to say Yankees, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, last question, and we'll hop off here after this. Who is your 2 MVPs this year? AL, NL MVPs.
AL, NL. I'm gonna have to go Freddie. NL.
Okay, you're just sticking with the Braves big time there.
And then we'll go. Dang, I don't know who's gonna get the AL. I don't know. I'll go Judge. We'll say Judge. AL.
Oh, I knew that.
That's all I
knew you were
needed.
gonna say that.
That's all I
He's
needed.
gonna hit 50 bombs.
That's all I
50.
needed.
Dalton, he'll miss 50 games probably.
All right, I'm gonna go Suarez.
Okay.
I don't have an AL.
You can't not have one. No, you can't
Yeah,
have one.
Judge. Good to know. Thank you. We'll move on from there.
Did I hear Vlad Jr.? Okay, I'll take that one. That's my dark horse this year. Soto and Vlad.
Yeah, it's going to be a real dark horse then.
We can go with that. Vlad's fine.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up. Michael, what do you got for everybody before we head on out?
Just again, 8 o'clock next week, Thursday. I will be actually on Count the Bucket. Saturday, I think we'll be on about 10:30. Come check us out. Good times with Amber. She was just on earlier with Ladies First.
Yes, sir. As for me, Monday's Generational Sports. That is 7 Eastern, me and Josh. I will continue to plug my Trey Wingo interview that me and Josh did because it's the coolest thing I've done in my life so far. So make sure you go check that out.
I interviewed Trey Wingo.
Well, hey, Michael, listen, I did that, so I'll let me live. Podcast available everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google, literally Spotify, everywhere. Check that out. That's Monday, 7 Eastern, as I said. The Hard Count, Everything Football that me and CJ do. That is 10 Eastern, but we're trying to move it up to 9 Eastern, make it more East Coast friendly. So I think we're going to go from 9 Eastern from here on out. Broke down everything that happened with free agency this past week. So check that out. And then, of course, come back to this show. As Michael said, we got the panel next week at 8, but then, me and Michael are back every Thursday, 10 Eastern. The season will be upon. The next time you see just me and Michael, we will be a week into baseball. Or not, we'll be a day into baseball. I lied. And it's going to be fantastic. That's all I'm saying. So check that out. Check out everybody at Unwrapped. Check out the sponsors for sure. MyBookie USN 100 doubles your first deposit. So if you want to bet, go over there. RX Hemp -USN saves you 10% on your entire order. So great CBD products over there. If you're a little sore from the a morning workout or something like that, rub some CBD cream. You'll feel brand new. The Teespring store is teespring.com/store/unwrapped. Everybody has merch, including the network, including each individual show that you see live here. So check that out. And then finally on Patreon, $1, you support the squad. $5, you get 10% off the store I just told you about. You get access to our Discord chat, and you get entered into an Amazon gift card giveaway. And then the $10 tier, you get everything I just said, except the 10% discount goes to $20, and you get entered into a signed memorabilia giveaway each month. This month is David Montgomery, so make sure you go and check that out. But it's been a long one. We appreciate everybody who watched. Benji, Dalton, always a great time. Like Michael has said plenty of times, you guys are welcome. Literally whenever you want. We are a message away. So thank you guys for coming on. We will see everybody